Good evening and welcome to Ancestor House. My name is Dami Akinnusi and I am a filmmaker and a broadcast journalist, and tonight I welcome you into Ancestor House as your host, creator of the show Nana Camille Yarbrough. Now, today is my Earth Day. I was brought into this world on the 30th of November, so I give thanks to my mother for giving birth to me, and I'm very blessed today to have a fellow Sagittarian in the house as my wonderful guest. And she is a woman who is, I call her a crafts queen, a creator, a jeweler, someone who brings to light the energies and the empowerment that the talisman can give you. You might be asking, what is a talisman? Just as I asked, what is a talisman? Well, we have our wonderful guest and she'll be explaining all. So as you should know by now, you have arrived at Ancestor House. So come on in, enjoy, welcome. This is Ancestor House. We welcome you in. Keep it coming as we move towards the start of the show. Wonderful.
Learn and tell our story, heal the pain and raise the glory. Tell it. We must learn and tell our story, heal the pain and raise the glory. Tell it. Not to know the family story is bad. Not to want to know it is worse. For to pass on ignorance to someone is like it's like passing on a curse. And it will curse your father, curse your mother, curse your sister, curse your brother. And every time you come close to one another, it will be there in between to separate and instigate. We must learn and tell our story. We must learn and tell our story for ourselves. No one else can learn and tell it for us. We must learn and tell our story for ourselves. Oh, don't hold back now and don't dilute it. Let the story come out free and whole.
Hello, welcome to Ancestor House. As you know, my name is Dami Akinnusi and I'm very blessed to be hosting the show Ancestor House on my Earth Day as I've made my way around the sun. And today is a special show because of that, and it's all about, you know, the energies that we possess and how do we harness those energies for good, and how do we empower ourselves. And really, there is so much love inside the earth. In fact, the earth has so many healing energies and properties and all of that stuff that some people might think is basically a conspiracy, or like, really, does it work? But here in the studio today, we have someone who utilizes these energies and harnesses those energies, and it reflects in her work through the power that you receive, because people all over the world are in search of her creations, her jewelry, her manifestations of the divine. It's Ma-JaDe, we have her in the studio. Welcome. Look at you and all your wonderful jewelry, first of all.
Yes,
Let's have
I never
a
leave
look.
home without it.
Wow, wow. And so this is actually the second time you've been on the show.
Yes.
Because you came once with your husband,
right.
And you know, we were talking about relationships, but you know, sexual relationships.
Oh, yeah.
So you're not afraid to get into the nitty-gritty and the realities of life and how we are as a people.
Of course, not at all. Not at all. And jewelry plays a big part in that too. You know, the stones, the different types of stones. There's a stone called the tiger's eye. You can take that tiger eye and put it underneath your man's pillow, and the rest is history. He will be that tiger.
For real?
You know, but of course, you know, you don't let him know. You know, you just do your little ritual and just stick it up under there. You know.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, tell me, like, you're called Ma-JaDe,
yes.
and I know that, you know, this is what you do. You have creations. People from all around the world purchase your goods. But you know, tell us a little bit about
Ma-JaDe.
Yeah, Ma-JaDe.
Okay, I'll tell you how I came to be Ma-JaDe. It came to me in a dream, actually. You know, as my husband would put it, it was like an angelic awakening. And I dreamt about my brother, Leroy O'Dan Rothnuby, and he had crossed over maybe about a year prior. I guess it was in 1990.
And this is a sibling of
Yeah,
yours?
my brother.
Your brother, okay.
Right, and I was at the point in my life where I just felt like giving up. You know, I was about 400 pounds, I had just lost my job. I was just a mess, you know, and, you know, considered a mess. But my back had went out, it was just, everything was just turbulent. And I just wanted to give up. Went to sleep, and my brother came to me in my dream. And it's so funny because he's the only one that I would ever listen to.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm glad I saw him. It was his vision that I saw. And I was sitting on the toilet. So you know, when you're sitting on the toilet, all your thoughts, that's where you get a lot of your materials from, you know, your writings.
I thought it was just me.
No.
I thought it was just me. Seriously,
Yes.
I'm on the...
Right, some people sit and think, some people sit and think. So, but I was sitting on the toilet, and sure enough, he came to me and he said, why don't you start creating jewelry? He said, if you kill yourself, Mom would be terrified. And he said, just start creating jewelry. And I'm talking to him and I'm saying, I have no idea how to create jewelry. I don't even cook. That's why I'm so glad I have a husband who does. Woof. And and he said, just create. He said, I'll help you.
Okay.
He told me to go over to my aunt's house and pick up a box of beads. She had some beads for me. And I said, okay, I'm gonna do that. I woke up to the sound of a harp. And I didn't...
A harp?
A harp.
Okay.
And I didn't know what a harp was at the time, but later on, way after the dream, I Googled it, you know, because I don't think computers were really, you know, out that much back then. I Googled it and I heard that sound, and it was the sound of a harp. There was a bracelet that he had given me before he crossed over, and I lost that bracelet. I was devastated. And the bracelet was on the edge of the bed. I have no idea how it got there, but that was like my sign to start creating. He also gave me the name Ma-JaDe in my dream.
Ah, so
That's how I got the name. I did my research on that name. I sat there for hours just trying to figure out why Ma-JaDe. And come to find out, it's a combination of the three women in my life, my mother and my two sisters. Mary, my mother, M-A, or Ma. My younger sister, Jacqueline, so that's J-A.
Yeah.
And my oldest sister, Denise, D-E. So that's how I got Ma-JaDe. My name is Stephanie. My husband loves that name. He said it's very, very witchy. And he wants me to use Stephanie instead, but everyone knows and loves me as Ma-JaDe. So.
Well, that's both of them are so beautiful, and you know, it's interesting that you know you say your husband says it's, you know, it's very witchy, because when we talk about you know, sort of magical talisman or talismans, you know, and these gifts really to the world from the earth that seem to provoke different ways of empowering yourself or healing and that type of stuff. It's like, you know, and it's the energy purpose, right? So people might connect that to, you know, the days of old where, you know, we'd be like dunking the witches in the river saying, you know, if you drown, then you're not a witch, you know, and if you survive, we're gonna have to burn you at the stake. You know, and it's you know, and these energies are still around us today, and like you're utilizing them and projecting them through your jewelry.
Absolutely.
Why are they important?
Well, jewelry is it's a representation of who you are. You know, so when I create pieces, I could pretty much look at a person and say, hey, you know, that would look good on you, or maybe you need something, or, you know, a lot of times, a lot of people come up to me and you could feel that they don't have that love. You know, so rose quartz, of course, automatically, you know, rose quartz will give you that extra.
Which is
something.
what I'm wearing.
Sure it
and
is.
like, you know, this is actually, when I was looking through, I was like, okay, I have Ma-JaDe coming on, and I was looking, and the only actual piece I have, which is a piece of jewelry, is this as a rose quartz, and I thought, you know, this is an exchange of love. Let me wear this, and you know, but I have stones everywhere.
And it's so funny. I bought you a piece of rose quartz.
You did?
I sure did.
Oh, you didn't.
See, we are like there.
Sagittarius here, guys. This is what's going on. That is weird, but you know, like you know, I mean, astrology is one thing, but the astronomy, like, if you know, you know, I'm not really, you know, I'm just kind of getting more into it and everything, but it's really you know, it's less, you know, when people say coincidental, it's like there's so many different things that really help you find your way in life. And as much as people say, oh, you know, if you look at the tabloid stuff, then yeah, you know, it's kind of like, oh yeah, really, like every single Sagittarian in the world is going to have the same experience. But when you start looking into it deeper, there really is a path and a journey that you can utilize.
It's already set. Your journey is really already set. You know, a lot of times, even in your dreams, it's good to listen to your dreams. You know, I'm glad I did, because that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't know what I would be doing if I didn't listen to that dream. And because it was my brother, and he knew, he's the only one that I would listen to. You know.
How do you become open to that experience? Because I would love for someone, you know, someone that I was connected to come to me in a dream and tell me, like, this is what you need to do. I mean, give me some help here,
I was
please.
ready to end it. I was ready. I was ready to end I was done. I was done. I felt like there was nothing else to live for. And he just it's like he just said, oh, heck no, and he pretty much saved me. That's the only thing I could think of. It was definitely a higher energy, and it was him, his face, you know, that came to me. And not only that, my husband, I know he bought me my husband. They share the same birthday. It's the same exact birthday. You know, they even look alike, and you know, they act alike. It's unbelievable. I feel like my husband is my brother.
That can sound weird in so many senses, but like the energy of that is,
definitely.
yeah, you know, the spiritual energy, and I love that, because it's, you know, it brought you out of where you were,
right?
And you know, so for so many people, they don't get that, you know, that reason to persist and to get on with life, and know that actually where I am right now is not where I'm supposed to be. Once I grab hold of what I know is for me,
right?
Look at you now.
I know. I surprise myself sometimes too, you know. Sometimes I just sit in my office and I'm like, wow, I can't believe this, you know, but I accept it and I welcome it, and I love all the love that people have for what I do, you know, because this is what I live for. This is what I live and love to do. I love to create. There's not a day that goes by that I don't create.
Oh wow!
You know?
We have some of your creations. I hope you know, we're getting those like set up just so we can have a little look. You know, so the audience can see just, you know, just a little taster of what you create. But and then we'll come back to discussing everything else that you have on you in the studio. But
absolutely,
you know, we have, you know, even just people just talking as you came in. It's just like there's an energy there, and you know, and you can't deny that feeling. And it's just like when people walk into a room and someone's been arguing and they can sense, or you know, basically cut the tension with a knife.
Right.
This is, you know, the opposite of that in terms of the positive. So we're looking. Let's check out some of your work up here right now.
I have that piece on right now.
Awesome. So that's MaJaDe.com. You can see some more of those amazing like jewels.
Yes.
So there was one, and you mentioned you saw there was a hand there, and the woman.
Right. She's an elder. She's an elder. Her name is Kalila, Queen Ma, I call her. And what happened was, someone was walking. I set up. First of all, I set up on 125th Street in Harlem, between Lenox and Fifth Avenue. I'm out there on Saturdays.
Okay, so this is people can find you every Saturday there.
So every Saturday people can find me there, and I'm also on Wednesday. I'm also at the National Black Theater.
Oh, okay.
On Fifth Avenue in Harlem. I'm there every Wednesday from 6 to 10. You know, a person could you could easily just draw out what you want.
Really?
You know, you can. I normally don't take phone calls, but I do. I'm a texter.
You're a texter,
since I work with my hands.
Oh, okay. So how can people find you? You're good with people texting you?
Oh, definitely. I can feel the energy from what they say and everything, and create
even
that
in
way.
the text?
Even in the text.
Wow.
Even and a photo. You send me a photo, forget it. It's on. I got you down, Pat. I got you. That's right. But this woman, she bought a goddess bracelet. And she went to this elder lady's house, Kalila, and Kalila loved it. She said, I have to meet the person who made that piece.
Oh, wow.
So she came to me, and ever since then I've been going to her, just dropping off pieces and things like that. But she loves it. She loves the goddess bracelets and everything. She had to go to the hospital one time. She took it and put it in a bag and dared anyone to touch it. You know, I mean, it's like that. They're so sacred to her. She said they heal her. She couldn't bend her fingers. The copper actually healed her.
So there's two things I want to ask you. One about the copper, and then also about you said about, she was saying she was daring anyone to touch it. I've heard that, especially if you create something for somebody, that it should only be their hands and their energy that interacts with it.
Definitely.
Why
definitely.
is that?
Because energies. Okay. That's why with women, it's good to do the X chromosome, because it's universal. It's a greeting. It's a wonderful greeting. It feels good. It feels like you're hugging your darn self. It just feels so
like
good. Yeah. So it's like I said, it's universal, and it's just not good to touch people's property. Period. It's
interesting to see it in that sense, because when people think about property, they think about being arrested for stealing someone's like physical goods, but we don't really talk about the the physical interaction between one and another and those energies. And when there's someone who's just like bad mind around you, you know what I mean?
Oh,
so
yeah, you could feel it.
It's really interesting, but people tend to touch and everything, and and it's like the flu virus, for example, but through the energy sense of.
It's like if you cough, I'm holding my breath for a good minute. It's just a natural thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And then you also so the energy and touching is one thing, but then you mentioned like
the copper. Right, copper is very good. I love working with copper. I just it's so funny when I go into I go into a trance when I create. And right now my area is copper. Later on it may change. It may be something else. I work, like I said, I work with my hands. I love pottery.
Yeah.
I can draw a little bit. It's a whole lot of things I could do. I could carve wood. Anything that's kind of masculine, like I could do, because it's all in my hands.
And what
it's like the Sagittarius. You have the
arrow
going up. Once you let it go, it's like whoa. It's like the sky's the limit.
Right.
I'm an infinity.
Right. Right. But is this something that runs through? I mean, I know that it runs through your family. With one of your brothers, at least. Like if in fact, you tell the audience in that sense. 'Cause I mean, I find it so amazing that it can't be a coincidence that from the same genetic strain comes like your magnificence in terms of your cultivation with your hands, and then having a brother such as Mike Tyson being, having such power, energy in his hands also.
Exactly.
And even though, obviously we can like differentiate, this is, for boxing and this is for creation of talisman and energy, it's still a transference of energy.
Exactly. It's in the blood.
It really is.
It's in the blood.
Yeah, and that really kind of shows, well, to me, I don't know, I mean, this is my opinion and guess, but that you've both found what you were here to do, and whatever that your ancestral inheritance is. And, you know, so many of us are searching for that, like, you know, am I here doing, you know, what am I here doing? What is my journey, you know, or how do I manifest the journey, even though, as you said, it's been set for us, but to a certain degree.
You know, I don't feel like this is it.
Okay.
I feel like there's something else. It's leading, the jewelry, you know, the talismans, is leading to something else.
Okay.
Something great, and I feel it. You know, eventually I want to start teaching, you know, children and, you know, and even adults, because a lot of adults
I would like to do your course. I would love to learn more because really.
And I'd like to do one-on-ones. You know, I know I probably have a long line of people waiting, but for some reason the intimacy of that is, you know, because like I said, when I create, it's total silence. I mean, even my husband, he's not allowed in the room.
Okay.
You know, it's a soundproof room, and I'm really going in. I'm really focusing. I'm seeing the visual. I'm seeing the person's face. You know, I'm feeling their energy. It's so much that goes into it. It's almost like I black out, and because a lot of times they come to me in dreams.
So what comes to you? The actual, like, what to create in terms of the vision and the.
Yeah. One time there was a giraffe. I got up. I made a giraffe. I have no idea why I made a giraffe. But I made this necklace, and I sewed the beads around the giraffe, and it's so weird. The next day I went out on 125, and a Oriental lady walked by and said, "I've been looking for a necklace like that," and she bought it. So it was for her, and she was not from here.
Oh wow!
She was not.
She
from
was just
here.
visiting.
She was just visiting. She said, "Ooh, Giddy, what you need she for? That's what I like." Yeah, and she bought the giraffe.
And she just bought it.
She bought it. Yeah, I was expecting it to sit on my table for years because it was just, you know, not something I would make. You know, so it's like when I got up the next morning and I saw it there, I was like, I did that, but actually it was for someone else. So that happens quite often. That happens quite often, and it's something with the stones. A lot of people, it's so many different definitions for the stones. You know, I have like my own feelings for them. You know, like a citrine.
Okay, so that's November, right?
That's us.
That's so November. So that's okay. I know only a couple. Citrine is one of them. So I'm acting like I really know.
The other one.
Yeah, and topaz.
Yeah, the yellow, the sunshine, the brightness. Because that's just who we are.
Right.
You know, we're just fun people. Understanding.
Understanding.
That's it. That's us.
The Sagittarius understanding for various other Sagittarians out there. Oh, that's amazing. Right. And you know when people say like, okay, but you know how are these stones really in reference to a group of people from a particular spot? You know, put time of birth on, you know, particular days in a period of the seasonal year. Like, come on. I mean, my husband, tends to be what he says because I love to follow all of this. And he's just like, yeah, okay, yeah, right.
Yeah, I know. Because see, the main stones are like the amethyst, the citrine, the quartz, the tiger eyes. You know, people love those type of stones.
Okay.
But you know, it's all about how you feel when they're in your hand. Sometimes you do feel a tingle.
Yes.
You know, it's a subtle vibration.
Right.
You know, especially the quartz.
Right.
You know, that's why I have my quartz on here, so I won't forget anything, you know. So, you know, you could always take the quartz and put it between your brow, lay it on your pineal gland, you know, and it's soothing. You could feel it tingling. You know, you could lay it anywhere else and it'll tingle there too, you know. So,
but what's when you say, like, you won't forget anything, is that like a...
Right, it's very soothing.
Okay.
It's very soothing.
Right.
You know, so you just put it there and it gives you clarity.
Oh,
That's what quartz does for you, because it's clear. It's clear, you know. And I want to talk to you a little bit about this bracelet here.
Yes.
Okay.
It'd be great to, let's see if we can get that close up, because that's a beautiful bracelet. Yeah. And I don't want to just touch without, can I touch yours?
Absolutely.
I'm touching her quartz. Wow, and your hands as well. I can feel. Look, I can look,
and you can feel.
Yes.
And you know, it's so funny. I never let anyone touch my hands because they're so hard. Because I'm always. They don't feel hard to you?
No.
What?
These feel like honestly. But you know what? Actually, reminds me of like when I've gone to Nigeria and I like one of my aunties who she used to use ground the pepper. and I used to hold her hand, and I'm like, I love the feeling. It's so, but it's like, it's a working hand, a hand that is
absolutely.
full
That's
of
why I don't shake
strength,
hands or
doing
anything,
things.
because I'm so sensitive. I feel everything. I
Wow.
felt some things with you, but anyway.
Oh God, I
so,
feel good things.
that's
It is my
another
birthday.
show. So let me just tell you with this bracelet here.
Yes,
this is the goddess bracelet.
certainly.
I call it God Is. Godis.
Okay.
Because that's what we are. We are the true warriors.
God is. We are. God
better
is.
know it.
Thank you.
And this piece here, this is called the Aura Flame. So this deals with the Kundalini. And it's like every chakra, it just balances you out. I love it. And here I have a ballerina shoe. I love to dance. I love movement. You know, I just can't keep still. You know, I just have so much fire in me.
Great.
You know, and then here we have the emerald. And the emerald is, am I holding it right?
Yeah,
Can you
so
see?
like this. Oh yeah, towards this camera here, so that they can see.
Cool.
Yes, you can look at that, so you can see what you're.
Okay, cool. And then I have the emerald here. The emerald is the stone of resurrection, you know, and it's also green. So the emerald, you know, also with the stones, you have to think about the colors too, because green is good for the heart chakra, wealth. you know,
wow, yeah.
Things like that. And then over here I have the skull. I love skulls, because it either keeps people away or draws them to you.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it has a positive.
It's definitely positive. With the skull, I mean, your brains will be all over the place if you didn't have a skull in your head.
Oh,
you know, and also the information from the top, you have a 5-pointed star on the top of your head, so that's where you receive all your information. So the skull is very important.
Wow.
You know, it's also a protector. And then we have the Ankh. The Ankh is good for balance, you know, just aligning your chakras up.
And explain the Ankh as well, because it's the African connection with the Ankh that people speak about.
Well, this is a hematite.
A hematite?
Hematite Ankh. So that's good for, you know, especially if it was magnetic.
Oh,
it's really
okay.
good for lining up your chakras and things. The Ankh to me, I have it tattooed on my forehead.
Yes.
So, you know, because
that's a commitment.
I know.
That is a commitment. And did it hurt?
It felt like someone just laid a vibrator there and just left it for a second or two. That's
Wow.
it. That's it. It was nothing. Nothing
But
to it.
it's obviously a huge. I mean, when you really think about tattoos, and especially one in such a prominent place. So why the Ankh?
I used to carry an Ankh everywhere I went. Wow. I just had to have an Ankh. I don't know. I can't even explain it. I just loved it. I loved the energy from it. So I said, why not just get it tattooed? So I was trying to figure out a place to get it tattooed. So my husband and I was like, well, why don't we get it on our face? So I said, okay. So mine was the forehead. He has 2 on his cheeks, you know, 1 on each cheek.
Wow.
Yeah. So I love it. And there are times people are always staring at me. I'm like, what are they looking at? And I'm like, oh, sure, I forgot the Ankh is there. And then here we have the Om symbol.
The
Om. That's like become Om.
Okay.
You know, it's like oneness with self. I love that symbol. And of course, you have the citrine. You know, the citrine, the amethyst. Like I mentioned before.
I love amethyst.
I know you do.
That's my favorite. Even though it's more for Pisces, if we're going to look at it through the stars.
No, if you love it, it's for you.
Yes, I love it.
And then, of course, I have the copper here, because I want to have the copper by the skin. The copper, it pulls out the toxins. You know, it's a conductor. It enhances any other stone that you're wearing. It just enhances it all. So, in saying that, I just want to say happy birthday. Oh my goodness! So here's yours. You know, I normally don't duplicate, but for you, this is for you, girl.
Are you serious?
You better believe it.
Oh my God! Get this stuff off now. I was like, I forgot all my. Are you? Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, so I just wanted to break it all down for you, so this is your very own. So I checked out your wrists and things like that, so I knew what size to make for you.
I can't believe I'm on a live show right now, like receiving a gift in real time.
You can put it on too.
Ma-JaDe.
Yes.
Oh my God, you must put it on for me.
Okay.
Are you serious? Is it? I have it. Oh my God.
Okay, let me show you how to put it on. So you go like this.
Oh my gosh.
And then
I can hear, there's Winston over there. He's laughing. You're in on this, I can tell.
So which finger? Let's see. I always wait to see which finger the sister puts on.
I normally would go for
that's
the
a
middle
sexual finger there.
Oh dear.
You're a Sag, you know.
I am a Sag, yes. See now, and the thing is, typical Sag sense. I haven't done my nails. So
that's okay.
I'm sorry, everybody.
I never do either. It's okay. You're still beautiful.
This is artistically.
It's beautiful.
It's a creation of like me, like you know, this is like Africa. And anyway, so in my own head.
Oh, it is shaped like Africa here.
This look.
That is so awesome on you.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yes.
So much.
Happy freaking birthday, girl. That's right, Sag style.
Sag style. This is Sag style.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, you are so amazing. I can't
you.
believe I have something made from your own hand.
And I never duplicate. I never make two of a kind. But in this case, it's different because when you text me and told me you were a Sag, I almost dropped the phone. I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Woo, we're gonna have fun."
Oh wow, wow! And I can really feel, you know, I can really feel this. And you know, when we talk about these energies, and especially for the audience who might be like, well, you know, I've heard about it, and you know, there's definitely some connection, but what is that? You know, why are these crystal stones, you know, precious metals, you know, why do they have these properties that can really help us heal? And you know, is this the Earth's way of saying it loves us, or?
Of course, it's earthly. I mean, even with trees, it's earthly. It's all nature. It's all part of nature, you know, and we should really hug trees. You know,
there's a lot of tree huggers.
What?
So it's not just insanity. Okay.
They give us life. They give us food. They give us air, clean air. You know, and stones are like that too. I mean, you could take a stone. There are people that line the stones up on your body, and it pulls negativity out, toxins out. You know, like I said, with the crystals, you lay, you know, a lot of stones you can lay right here on your pineal gland. You'll be amazed how it just opens you up. You know, I have one favorite stone. Oh, it's like one of my favorites. It's called the Merlinite. Merlinite, and it is a magical stone. And I didn't know it was magical, but when it was given to me. So, and the woman just walked up to me and said, "Oh, I want to give you a stone. I love your work." And I was like, "Oh, give thanks." She put it in my hand. My hand started tingling. I said, "Oh, shoot, this is magical." Yeah, and I looked it up. And it was a Merlinite, and it said magical, a magical stone. Yeah, so I put that sucker in my purse. I sure did. I put it in my purse. I put it in my purse, and you know, my purse was getting kind of full. You know, and it's so funny. I took it out. At one point, I took it out, and I noticed I was like, I'm not making that much money anymore. You know, so it's
really,
yeah, it's amazing how stones really change your life. It really could change your life because, yeah, I can't wait to see what's going to happen with you with that.
I can't wait either. And this has been created by you with your amazing
you're going to get stopped all over the place. As a matter of fact, you're going to probably start walking down the block like this.
No, yeah, I'm already feeling like this arm has its own. It's like, what's this doing? It feels like it needs to be like... Wow.
Yeah, so it's like you get to know what stones work for you. You know, like I said, you know, you just can't listen to all the different definitions. You have to pretty much know what it feels like for you, how it makes you feel. That's the real definition. Wow. You know, fossils. I don't wear fossils.
Okay, so you know, how are fossils different from like stones?
Well, the fossils, to me, they feel. I feel them moving.
Okay.
It's
so
like
they're like alive in a sense.
It's totally alive. You know, it's like it feels like it's crawling.
Wow.
It's mineral. It's a mineral. So I could feel the crawling. It feels like bugs to me, but not to everyone else. A lot of people love the stones, that love the fossils, but you know, I have those in a bag. I have it in like a little safe. You know, you know, unless somebody wants, you know, requests or orders it or whatever, I'll pull it out.
Well, speaking of requesting orders, you know, this is a time where, I mean, when it comes to celebration, I know a lot of our audience celebrate Kwanzaa, and even, you know, other traditions around this time, or they just give thanks, you know, during the time because they have some days off from work.
Right.
And, you know, they want to celebrate their family. So, you know, and also being the day after Black Friday, where just having watched the news and, you know, how rowdy people have acted. You know, the day after Thanksgiving, and you know, people literally having fights, you know, to fight for that consumerism. Like, I'm getting a deal here, so it's worth me tasering someone else in order to get this TV, which I feel is a bargain, but really, Is it? And
No.
you know, today they're classing this Small Business Saturday. So you know, I really want to urge our audience, and well, I just know our audience already, and you're not falling for the gimmick of the media kind of, you know, like go for this. So I want them to connect with your work.
Absolutely, and plus when you buy jewelry, you want to know what you're wearing. You know, you just can't buy jewelry and put it on. You don't know what kind of energy is in it. You know, you got to clean your stones. A lot of times people clean their stones by laying it on their terrace, on their windowsill. You know, let the sunlight hit it. If you have a laser, let that, you know, hit it. There's a whole lot of ways to, you can even Google it. You can Google everything right now.
It's true, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
you
so
know,
crazy.
But to get my pieces, you can go to my website, Ma-JaDe, MaJade.com. Sister Ma-JaDe, that's my Facebook page. I post so many things up there.
So Ma-JaDe is like Facebook / MaJade.
Right, it's SIS.
Sis Ma-JaDe. Okay.
Sis Ma-JaDe.
Sis Ma-JaDe.
Right. You can, you know, text me, like I said, it's 718-288-1729.
Okay, so just say that one more time for people just running for their pens,
Okay.
just so they know.
It's 718-288-1729. I'm not good at answering the phones. You know, I'm extremely sensitive to voices sometimes and things like that. So, you know, I barely answer the phone. Every once in a while I'll pick up, but you know, a text, you'll get a reply right back, you know, right away.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, listen, you can have the gift that I have right here, or even think about your loved ones and people that might be wanting to, you know, to receive some different type of energy, you know.
Exactly.
And they can receive it not just from someone who's just making it, you know, like 1,000 by the dozen or whatever. You know, you're making this uniquely and individually, as you just said. Like, this is your first duplicate. I feel so blessed. You know, actually, thank you.
Yes.
Like, I have something that you have, and I'm
That's
like, we're connected
the only
forever.
one.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's really amazing. But you create these unique pieces that people walk around, and it's authentic, and you know, it's for them. Really.
It's for them. It's for them. I didn't know how to rap at first, but you know, I said to I remember going to sleep, and it's so funny. Like, right before you go to sleep, if you ask for things, you'll be surprised what you get.
So before you go to sleep, and just putting that out to the universe.
You just put it out to the universe. You sleep on it, and voila. You know, that's what happens to me. I'm a strong believer in that. I remember saying, "Can someone please teach me how to rap?" You know, I wanted to know how to rap. Well, you know, just wire things.
Okay.
And I remember waking up that morning. It was like a bright light in the corner of the room, and I remember saying, "Wake up! Look at that light!" And, you know, to my husband. But he said I didn't touch him. He said I didn't touch him, and I'm like sitting up looking at this light, and then it just went away. And I just found myself just going back to sleep. I got up and went into the office, and this is what I came up with. This is my first rap piece.
I love her.
And it's so fun. It's me. And this is my hair. A piece of my lock fell out, so I incorporated it into my piece.
Wow.
And this is a seed from Jamaica. I forget the name of it.
The actual, so it's wrapped with copper.
It's wrapped, right. It's a seed here. And then, you know, the belly band. I love my belly bands. I don't have one on today. But, you know, I love my belly bands. So I put a belly band there. And then there's the ankh, you know. And this is even before I got the ankh tattooed on my forehead.
Wow.
You know, and
that is amazing. Let them see that. So this is, it's a seed, so it's like like maybe from a fruit or something.
Yeah, it's a fruit in Jamaica. I can't recall the name of it. Someone had gave me a bag of them, and just walking down the block, they said, you know, she said, "Oh, sister," she was a Rasta, and she says, "Oh, sister, I have a bunch of seeds you want." And I was like, first I looked at her funny, and then I said, "You know what? I can make something out of those."
I can make something out of those.
So that's what I did. I make, you know, people. And of course you have the cowrie shell here, and that's my pubic hair there. And I mean, this is like so me.
Wow.
It's all me. I have the breasts and
And the breasts are made out of stones too?
Well, the breast is the seeds that are inside. I took the seed
out of the, oh wow.
Yeah, some seeds in there that look like that.
So then this is, you know, this is truly creation. You know, when, you know, this is artistry. Like there's, you know, artists out there who are creating all sorts, you know, in all sorts of mediums, and you're here, you know, utilizing you know, things from the earth and
Yes.
putting them together, and they're having a resonance of, you know, provoking experience and thoughts,
Yes.
and you know, just changing your
It's life-changing.
your energies,
Totally.
which is, you know, such
Totally.
an understated area that it's almost seen as kind of like you said, like witch, you know, like Stephanie, like your husband says, it reminds you of being a witch.
Yeah.
But then, you know, when you think of that, witch and wizardry and everything, it's like, oh, it's so just out there. But in fact,
it's a beautiful thing.
you can just incorporate it into your daily lives, and hopefully it can do something positive for you, right?
Totally, totally. You know, I could pick something up off the street, bring it home, soak it, clean it up, and just transform it into a whole nother energy. You know, these are my children.
Wow.
These are my children. My children are all around the world. You know, so
Because then when people purchase them, and then,
Yes.
oh my gosh,
These are
this
my
is
children, yeah.
such a great
you know, this piece here, these are made out of the yoni eggs.
yoni eggs.
Yeah, those are the eggs that you put up there.
Wow.
Yeah, so these are the yoni eggs. So this is an ankh. Can you see that? Yeah.
Oh wow, wow.
Yeah.
And that's covered with copper as well?
It's copper. And if you look closely, it looks like a mask.
It reminds, yeah.
It's like an African mask.
Oh, it is. You know, because first of all, I was looking at it, and it looks like, you know, actually, I was thinking it was, you know, as a person who was like,
Right.
you know, a human, and then, but now, then looking at it this way, it looks like an African mask with a nose and a mouth here, and
Yep.
those two eyes.
Absolutely.
It's so amazing how, you know, especially creations can really be perceived in so many different ways to the individual buyer, and that's why it's so interesting how the woman who came along and was like, that piece is for me.
Yes.
And, you know, somehow you were like, why am I creating a
Yeah.
giraffe?
That happens a lot. There, there's another piece here. This is Orgon. I have to talk
Orgon.
about the Orgon energy.
Yeah.
You know, this blocks the ELF waves.
Okay, so what is
Extremely low frequencies.
extremely
You know,
low frequencies?
yeah.
Are they ghosts?
It can be. It can be
Okay.
that too. But like if you use your cell phone a lot,
Okay.
you
So I'm
know,
sitting here with my cell phone, like, you know, making sure, like, you know,
you
texting
need an
people-
Orgon piece because you're always on it.
Yeah.
And it's not protected, huh?
No.
Yeah. You know, it's good. Like even at home, put pennies around your computer from 1983 and before. You know, because that's the purest of the copper. You know, just have that around your
So these are
computer.
like the 1 cent penny
Yeah, exactly,
coins? Put those
yeah.
around your computer?
You know, it helps out a lot. You know, as far as I know, Johnny Cochran passed on from an aneurysm. You know, he was constantly on his phone.
Right.
You know the phone did some type of damage to him. That's why it's good to have a chip. I sell those as well. They're called Tesla plates, Tesla chips.
Tesla chips.
Right,
Now,
phone chips.
Wow. So, I mean, for those who, you know, especially when they talk about Tesla now and this whole new sort of harp system and, you know, different ways and frequencies that are being utilized around the world by different governments in order to, you know, do what they need to do. It's so interesting that there is also, like, what, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it's negative, but if we were going to say negative and positive, I'd look at what they're doing is slightly negative because people don't really know what's going on.
They don't know.
And then in terms of the radiation and all the other different frequencies, what you're doing is positive, giving people
Absolutely.
a way to
Right.
to combat that. But I've never heard of that, you know, what you're talking about.
Right, because the organs are just as good because, you know, soon we're going to start making them small so you can attach them to your phone. I even made, as a matter of fact, this is a necklace. It's Sagittarius.
I think
this is my-
I think this is going to have to be my purchase.
No. As a matter, you know what? Let me tell you, that's my personal piece.
That's your personal piece?
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my God.
Yes, that's my personal
This
piece.
is
I took
it
that off my
quartz
wall.
on the
that-
back?
Oh, it sure is.
Look,
I'm gonna
oh
have to
my
make you one.
This is
Similar.
Similar. Yeah.
You just let me
would-
know what color.
Okay, so
you know.
probably, I mean, can I have amethyst?
Yeah, whatever you want.
On the back. So this is amazing. So this is, so
It's an
orgon.
organ.
So what is an
it-
orgon?
You know, it's just good to have that on you.
Right,
You know,
it
like I
feels
said,
away.
it's just such a protector. You know, like I said, from the ELF waves and it's just beautiful to look at. Inside of it, inside the organ, there are crystals. These here are the tiger eyes once again.
Oh, tiger eyes, wow.
Tiger eye, and the dragon here, that's sterling silver. You know, there's silver inside the organ piece. These are little crystals here. I mean, I just really went in with that one. So,
and so when you know the definition of an organ, is the organ actually a type of gem, or is it something that has just an energetic property that does something for you?
Well, there's definitely a healer.
It's a healer.
And you could find more information on that on my husband's website. I'd love to give that out. It's Azaziel.
Okay,
Azaziel.com. It's AZZAZIEL.com. And you can read up all on the organs, because he makes them. My husband makes them. You know, I just turn it into the jewelry.
Wow, so he actually makes the organs
He makes
himself.
the organs himself.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just create, you know, what I'm feeling.
Around it, so you know, you take an organ and then you know you create it into the jewelry.
Earrings, necklaces, goddess bracelets, anything you want.
Wow.
You know, hair pieces. It's good to have a piece of organ in your hair.
Wow.
You know, just a small piece, nothing to, you know, bog it down or anything like that.
Wow.
You know, so it's good to have, you know, healing jewelry. It should always be natural jewelry. You know, oh, and I have one more piece I want to show you. This is a copper coin. This is another one of my pieces. I have a carload of jewelry if you want to take a look later.
Oh yes, I want to take a look at it all. And especially copper, you know, when a lot of people who have arthritis.
Yes.
They're saying that copper, you know, wearing copper is actually...
I'm telling you, it pulls the toxins out. And you'll notice copper changes here. You see that? That's turquoise.
Oh wow. And that's because of time?
Exactly.
And where does
you know, the good thing about copper, you could tell when you're sick, when you're ill, because it starts to change.
Oh.
So it's you know, when it gets dark.
Or when it gets dark, it draws.
Yeah, right, because it's drawing the energies of the toxins and the impurities. It's drawing it out of your body.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what, that is so amazing, because I was actually speaking to someone recently who said that they wanted to have some type of copper because they'd heard about it, that it, you know, they've been suffering from arthritic pain.
Right.
But to have it as part of your jewelry, where it's just part of your everyday, you know, you put it on and you feel good at the same time, because you're like, oh look, I'm
and even for your
crisp.
ankles, because a lot of people, especially a lot of women, they suffer with the ankles, the large ankles and things. You know, you always just try to keep anklets on, because it's not going to grow past that. You know what I mean? So you want to just sleep in it for a couple of days, you know, so your ankles won't spread. You know, just keep anklets on. Even the same thing with waist beads. You know, you keep that on, it won't go past that capacity. You know what I mean?
Wow,
You know, little things like that. It's little tricks to the trade there. You know.
I love that. And so, okay, so as you know, for people who are thinking like, okay, I haven't really purchased a piece before, I haven't really considered, you know, what these, you know, precious stones and crystals and gems can do for me, you know, where would they start? You know, where would you advise them to?
Well, they
start?
could pretty much just tell me what they like, what their mission is. You know, what do they want to accomplish? What are they looking for? You know, they're looking for love. Of course, rose quartz is number one. You have to take your piece.
And this is another gift. That's, I mean, again, coincidences. Is there such thing? I
telling you, we're like so there.
No, because I thought about it and I was like, okay, and then this is the piece that I'm good. It's too weird.
And
then
I ran back in the house to get that.
Really?
For you, yeah. I sure did. So let me give her a rose quartz.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what they can do basically is just send me a text. You know, you can send me a text from my website or from my cell phone, 718-288-1729. I'm pretty good at getting back to people. I never go as long as a week. You'll hear from me within that week.
Sure.
You know, because I have days where I just sit and just make my calls.
Yeah,
you know, and write down what people are feeling and things like that.
So you're like
and
a
you could just tell
seer
me,
as well.
I am.
Yeah, because you know, someone would be like, I feel this, this is what I need, and you know, you make a creation, and you know, I've spoken to others who are like, oh, you know, just, and even, you know, I purchased something, you know, where you had something made as well for my husband, and it's like, you know, these energies, it's like you're able to read. You know, when, you know, maybe someone will go to a clairvoyant or, you know, that type of thing, and it's like, and then you're transferring or harnessing those energies through which comes from the earth, which is so amazing that this is what our beautiful earth creates.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why, you didn't ask me about my...
I'm just looking at it. I'm just like, okay, we have like a few minutes, and I'm like, we need to just go through this, because this reminds me, to me, this is like a dream catcher with an all-seeing eye.
Oh yeah, I like making dream catchers because I love dreams. I love dreaming. The first time I remembered my dream, I dreamt I was kissing a dog. It was like a poodle. It was like I kept having that dream for months. And every time I would kiss the poodle, and I would inhale the hair in my mouth, and I would wake up choking. It was the deepest thing. So, I mean, this went on for years. And I remember when I met my husband, because he's a dream interpreter. My husband is also a dream interpreter, so please go to his website, Azaziel.com, AZZAZIEL.com. And he told me, he said, that means you're moving closer to God. You're becoming one with God. You're going to be very godly. Yeah, because dog backwards is God.
Yeah,
because a lot of times when you have dreams, it's always the opposite.
Okay.
Like if you're dreaming a lot about male energy, you just have to really concentrate on your female energy more.
Okay.
And especially a lot of times when you dream about men a lot, you need to also focus on your spiritual side, instead of the physical side as much.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I've been having a lot of those dreams, so I need to, so that's why when you called me, when you texted me and said you want me to come on the show, I was like, that was like a sign to do the spiritual work, to speak, because I normally don't speak. I'm always in the background. I just create. That's all I do.
But it's interesting because when you both came on the show, I sensed that, and it was wonderful to have both of you, but I really felt like, oh, there's something there in terms of bursting to come out, and I can see how, especially when you help others and you see what their journey might be, how you can become quite silent because you're like, I'm giving, I'm telling your story through this, or putting your energy into this, or doing something to help others in a sense, because you can feel what they need. So, it's interesting actually to then be here and have you express exactly kind of what your needs are as well, in terms of like, this is how I'm able to help people, this is how you can reach me. And I feel like this space, especially as Ancestor House, as it's been created, it's exactly that, because when you talk about it's coming from somewhere else, this is the voice of our ancestors, and it just made complete sense for us to sit here and speak and offer our audience this experience.
And it's so funny you say that, because I remember making a piece for someone, and I just saw everything. I just felt I saw everything. I confronted the person. I called the person. They were just totally surprised that I even called. I didn't know who they were or anything like that. They just said no. They just sent me a text. No, they sent me a text of what they wanted.
Wow.
They put a down payment on it, and after I got done with it, after I finish a creation, I sit there with it, and it's almost like it talks to me, and I just listen. What you want, baby?
What you want, baby?
Yeah, they're my babies, they're my children, and it was just so much that I got from that piece, and I wound up calling the person, and just telling them to pretty much just, your emotions are getting the best of you. Just bring it down a notch. Stop the yelling, the screaming. And they were like, how did you know that? I said, I can't, it's not something I can explain. It's just a feeling that I get. And I put all that energy into my pieces. So you're not just getting jewelry, you're getting a whole lot more. And I watch the people walk by on 125, and I'm like, y'all just don't know what y'all missing.
No,
but let me tell you, this woman walked by. She was blind, and she walked to my table. She had her stick.
She walked to your table.
She walked to my table. She was. What did she say? She's almost blind, but she could just see the auras. She came straight to my table, and she said, "Woo! The energy over here is wonderful. Who are you?" Who are
I can't see, but I can feel.
So I told her what I do, and she said, oh, I have a necklace in my bag that I've been walking with for like 20 years, and it needs to be repaired. And I was like, absolutely, I'll fix it. So I let her sit in my seat, and I fixed it for her right then and there, and I gave it to her, and she said, how much? I said, oh no, it's on me. You know, I mean,
Wow.
it's like, you know, little things like that. It's just so touching. It's I see so much, and you know, and I just want to thank everyone for just loving what I do. It just means so much to me. You
I
know,
absolutely love what you do. And as we're wrapping the show, I just want
Okay.
everyone to know exactly where they can find you, because
Yes.
you know, a lot of our watchers are you know, in Harlem and in New York, but then we have people who watch overseas and it online. So please let people know where they can find you and all of the wonderful
Where
things
do
that
I
we've
look?
spoken today. You just look where you over
Look to
here.
the
I think look to the
stars.
stars. There are so many cameras in the studio, which is why, you know, we're often confused. Maybe that one, but no, or maybe that, or whatever. They'll work it out. Yes.
Oh, look at that.
Which one?
Two. See, even Winston is on the case.
Okay.
Let us know. Go for it.
Okay.
Give me a number.
You can You can reach me at MaJaDe.com. That's www.
And they have you up there, look.
.ma. Oh yeah, it's there. -JADE.com. And then my Facebook page, Sister MaJaDe. Make sure you put the hyphen in there. And 718-288-1729. You can reach me there. I'm also at the National Black Theater on Wednesdays in Harlem from 6 to 10. I'm on 125 between Lenox and 5th.
So the heart of Harlem,
the
like
heart of Harlem
where
is
it's
happening.
where it's
That's what-
happening. That's where you got to get to. Certainly.
Yes, you know, and you know, that's it. And just let me know what you want. Let me know your color, you know, your mission, you know, whatever you want. You know, draw it out.
Yeah.
Tell me your dream.
That's wonderful.
And let's make it
Tell
happen.
her your dream.
Tell me your dream.
And you know, isn't it such a blessing, everybody, just to have such a spirited person on Ancestor House, because this is really, you know, when we talk about Ancestor House, this is really what it's about, and it's, you know, it's wonderful to have you on, and also to remind people out there that, you know, this is what we have access to.
Oh yeah,
this is really what we have
definitely.
access to.
You know, when I was growing up, my mother she's an evangelist. She was an evangelist, you know. So I'm a preacher's daughter. So I always remember that song, "This Little Light of Mine, I'm Gonna Let It Shine."
I'm gonna let it shine.
And I love that song. You know, and
Ignorance to someone is like it's like passing on a curse, and it will curse your father, curse your mother, curse your sister, curse your brother, and every time you come close to one another, it will be there in between to separate and instigate. We must learn and tell our story. We must learn and